G'day everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're still planting trees madly, but we've had a significant breakdown. Barry, the b2600 of Fury, which you're currently sitting on top of, did a clutch master cylinder, and while Barry's old and he's reliable, but he does break, so we ordered a part, and currently you're leaning against the part, so I'll flip the phone round, we'll have a look, we'll walk you through what we're going to do. So the easy answer is eBay and buy one. They're cheap, they're replaceable, and they're in a box. It's very hard to do one-handed. So it's just a clutch master cylinder. It's got two bolts that go through the firewall and a reservoir and a bung in where the feed hole goes. So I'll show you what it looks like on the car. So it's all the way down in there. So the job itself's pretty simple. It's undo this fitting, which will be the small one, so this one here, and then from the inside just undo the bolts. There's a push rod that clearly goes inside it, and should be pretty simple, but you can see this has been leaking for a while. It's taken the paint off the firewall. We've been nursing it along. This car's only got 6 months left to live before it becomes a farm ute, so I was trying to avoid spending any money on it, but it is what it is. So we'll go and have a look underneath and see what we've got to do under there, because I haven't been there yet, but no doubt it'll be good for a guy my size. Righto, so that's the best angle I'm going to be able to give you. You can see the two bolts. So this is the clutch pedal here, and then it has a push rod up inside, and there's two nuts up there, and away we go. So we'll get set up. We'll get that pipe off first. That looks like the hardest thing to do, and then we'll start working on the underside here, which is very, very squeezy. Okay, so we got that out, and that can now do whatever it needs to do. We'll go and have a look on the inside. Okay, so we've got the two nuts off. I'm never ever going to talk about that again. And we'll try and get the old one out. So there's the old one, complete with fluff, whatever that is. So we'll get the new one out and we'll compare them. Okay, so they look the same, both there and there, and the angles are the same, so I think we're good to go. We're never going to talk about getting these nuts, particularly this top one, off ever again. They're just too damn hard to film, and with gorilla sized hands like mine, quite challenging. So first thing we've got to do is make sure these studs are in tight, which they're not, and then we'll stick it back together. Okay, so we have to get that little push rod inside the new master cylinder, which is going to take some manipulation with two hands. So we'll get it positioned and we'll come back. Actually, let's try it like this. See if we can get you. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. There'll be no editing on this one. That's the bolt holes. And we'll just try is an inside job. So I'll get that all positioned in place and we'll get the nuts on them and come back. So about half an hour and a whole heap of swear words later, we got the master cylinder bolts back in. That's the steering column bolts. Master cylinder bolts back in. That rod was a pain in the ass, but we're back in there and we're good to go. So have a little clean up on this part. 12mm nuts under there for those who are curious. Okay, safety bung out. And here's where it all goes horribly wrong if you get it wrong. So don't force this nut into the thread. Just work it carefully, and we're going to get it right first time here by the feel of it. Because if you cross thread it, this nut will give way before the fitting does, and then you've got to replace more than just a $50 eBay master cylinder. And it doesn't have to be gorilla tight. If it leaks, do it up a little bit more. Right? As a person who quite often manages to gorilla the shit out of things, including recently, a couple of other little nuts, just be gentle. Right? It's just a little brass fitting. Right? So we'll start there, I think, and we'll see what happens. Then it's just add fluid, and bleed, which is the fun part. So we'll fill it right to the top. And we'll work the clutch a couple of times and see how it goes. Well, that's good. Didn't shoot out the top. Let it up. Down. Down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. Yeah, do it a couple of times. Okay everybody, so there you have it. The clutch master cylinder's back in and it's good to go. We also fixed the tailgate handle. If you ever have to replace a tailgate handle on any sort of ute, if you can get a metal one, not a plastic one, buy the metal one. It's twice I've had to do the plastic one and this time I've gone for the metal one. So just going to give it a quick wash, get the brake fluid off. I've already had a wash, got it off me. In terms of bleeding it, I know there's not much footage. Do your Googles, have a look at bleeding a clutch. You can either do it with two people or one person and a special tool. I use two people. There was some language and some colourful, especially when I got a brake fluid, clutch fluid bath. So there you go. All right, yeah, still planting trees, still having a good time, still getting it done. So we'll see you next time.